I need this. That was not a gun. It's something better. Now, this is the last of the 3 requests for Vonte. Thank you so much for your kindness. And thank you so much for your patience. I hope you're doing well, man. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts on movies or topics or tier lists or rankings, live streams, video game playthroughs for an hour to try it, a full playthrough, whatever the case may be, PayPal is the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. So this is for Garfield from 2024. That's crazy. It's been 2 years already. The Garfield movie, which of course there was a Garfield movie back in the day with Bill Murray voicing it. And there's always that story I heard that Bill Murray took the job because he stupidly thought that the guy making it was one of the Coen brothers. Or the Coen brothers. And I'm sitting there going, number one, the Coen brothers would never make a Garfield movie. And number two, the names are spelled differently. And good job, Bill. But then that got a sequel, A Tale of Two Kitties, which I'm guessing was some contractual obligation or something. I don't know. Either contractual, I'm guessing that's what it was, or something. I don't know. Or he just got a good paycheck and he thought it was easy work. Now, before I get to this, I like Garfield, the cat, in terms of, I remember watching the cartoon back in the day. I think it was on, I want to say CBS, when I was a kid. I remember seeing the Halloween special and the Christmas special. I actually got to review the Halloween. I think I reviewed both. Or was it Thanksgiving? I know I reviewed the Halloween one, and that was fun to revisit. I'm like, this brought back memories, and I quite liked it. But the show was fun, and it captured the comic strip where Garfield is grumpy, he's lazy, he's the opposite of energetic. He's frowning all the time. He just wants to sleep. He hates Mondays. And he has that tone of voice, and he has that reconnaissance to do nothing. That's the whole point of Garfield. So they make a movie where you do that for a teeny bit, and then the voice is more energetic and is more these wacky adventures where it's a wannabe Mission Impossible heist movie. That's not Garfield. They forgot the assignment. They didn't understand the assignment. That should be the title. The makers did not understand the assignment. This doesn't feel like a Garfield movie should. Doesn't sound like it should. This is a very callous, if that's not the right word, shitty, boring, unfunny, generic dick face of a movie. This movie pissed me off. Because I like the Garfield character, and this is lame. This is, you know what this is? It's out of the factory of Hollywood where, how do I want to put it? You could just see all the executives checkmarking what this needed to be a big hit. We need references. We need stuff of modern today. Felt like a crappier Illumination movie. So it's written by Mark Dindal. And this guy, he's made some films I like. The Emperor's New Groove. I thought there was some fun to that. He also made a film called Chicken Little, which I remember that film because I worked at a video store and there was a girl named Amanda. Cute girl. No, I did not go for her because she was... Number one, I was more nervous, shy. And she was with someone that's, you know, the bigger one. And I remember like one of her favorite films was Chicken Little, which I thought was cute. In a good way, not like cute. No, that's cute. Very nice lady, though. She was kind of, not the boss, but kind of secondary boss, but she was nice. So I'm lucky for that. Because a lot of times people say, yeah, the boss was a dick. No, she was quite the opposite. She was very, very nice. Anyway, I remember not minding that film for what it was. But this one, with the voices they got for the characters, I did not think fit. I didn't feel passion with this. I felt this was a cash grab. In a weird way. I know it's weird to say a cash grab because Garfield, no one's really thought of him probably since the Bill Murray movies. But number one, Chris Pratt voicing Garfield. Just like Chris Pratt was a voice in the Lego movie, Chris Pratt voiced Mario in the Super Mario Brothers films of recent years. Is like someone go, well, Chris, what do we do with Chris Pratt? Oh, we'll have him voice Garfield. Make the movie now. Chris Pratt is an awful Garfield. And I like Chris Pratt. I don't mind Chris Pratt as an actor. But he was not the right fit for this. He was a terrible Garfield. He just sounded like Chris Pratt. And Chris Pratt's voice is not fit for... He didn't even try to sound like Garfield. Maybe once or twice, and even that was just a bored Chris Pratt. But you needed an actual voice actor. You needed someone that understood the assignment and go, okay, I'm going to try to sound like this guy from the cartoon. If you want to do that, then better tone, better cadence. The writing didn't help either. But that was one of the big sticking points of the film to me, is that anytime Garfield talked, I just heard Chris Pratt 2 shots away from being Star-Lord. And that was in my face. It was distracting. And I thought it was such a terrible fit. Terrible fit. And Hollywood needs to stop putting movie stars as voice actors when there's a whole wealth of voice actors that could capture more of the credence and more of the cadence and more of the details. That's what makes characters like the Bugs Bunny of yesteryear, or Daffy Duck, or Donald Duck, or The Simpsons, or any other characters you could think of, is because they have voice actors that could rise the tempo of the voice however they see fit to make it work to their benefit. Chris Pratt just went, I'm going to talk like me, and I'm just going to say the words like I would say in the Lego Movie or other films. So, terrible fit. Absolutely miscast. That's number one. Number two, you have Samuel Jackson as his dad. I'm like, really? So we're involving Garfield's dad. We're stealing almost one of the plots from Kung Fu Panda. Was it 3? Where Poe, and then there's his dad played by Bryan Cranston, and so we're almost taking that fucking plot. And I'm sorry, Sam Jackson, I didn't buy as the dad either. Granted, it's one of the few films you'll have Sam Jackson not say fuck or motherfucker. So there you go. But I'm just hearing Sam Jackson. And it's like Sam Jackson being the father of Chris Pratt was, it was weird. Just didn't fit. It'd be like, I don't know, if you had Chris Rock and his dad was played by Sylvester Stallone. I'd be like, Okay. What? Really? A few other voices I recognize. Ving Rhames. Love Ving Rhames. Snoop Dogg is a little cameo voice. Nicholas Hoult plays John Arbuckle, who's barely a character in the film, which is weird because he's one of the main characters in the Garfield comic strip cartoon, and then you make him barely a thing. I thought that was fucking weird. The animation, I wasn't that impressed by the animation. I guess because it cost $60 million. It made $90 million in the US, made $250 some million worldwide, and it probably made its money back worldwide, but it wasn't a blockbuster in terms of, if they saw that it didn't even make $100 million in the US, they probably went, we're not going to do a sequel, because usually a sequel will do less, and this film did not get the best reviews when it came out, so it would not have had the highest word of mouth. So if there's a sequel, people would give less of a shit about it. So, yeah. Don't hold your breath for a Garfield sequel. Which, good. And the jokes, I thought a lot of them were really lame. One of the first jokes is Chris Pratt, because I'm not going to call him Garfield, it's just Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt ordering food and drone delivery. It talks about how drone delivery is so great and so modern. And Odie is in it. Thankfully, they do not give Odie a voice. Odie is one of the only parts I liked in the film, because they make Odie a bit smarter, where Chris Pratt's talking about how Odie's his servant, but you tell Odie is kind of fed up with it and kind of is understanding. Because sometimes in the cartoons and such, he would be, the hapless dog and too stupid to know his own good. And then once in a while, maybe kind of be on the up and up. But here it was more of him be on the up and up. And sometimes stuff with Odie was kind of funny. Like Odie pretended to be thunder with his barking and such. So then you see a bit of the origin of Chris Pratt's character, where he was a little kitten and he thought his dad abandoned him. It's raining out, so he wanders the road, sees an Italian restaurant, goes in, meets John Arbuckle. The little kitten eats pizza and food. John gets it. This woman keeps telling about getting on these dating apps. Yeah. Call AT&T's. Tell me to get the fuck out of this movie. But like this fat bitch is like, hey, all these dating apps. I'm like, I'm not going to date you. If I look at you, I don't want to date someone forever. You're the type of woman I'd rather date a guy. Fuck on my face, lady. She's the type of lady that if you date one time, the next day you're sucking dick. So, John is ready. He doesn't know what to do with his kitten because, well, my apartment doesn't allow pets, but then eventually takes the pet. The cut to today. And you have a little bit of montage that maybe they're trying to do the comic strip. He hates Mondays and how they interact throughout the days, stealing food. Chris Pratt's on Odie's ton and is going up and down like a yo-yo. But when I say lame jokes, instead of Netflix, it's called Catflix. You get it? Catflix instead of Netflix. And eventually, about 10-15 minutes into the film, Odie and Chris Pratt get kidnapped. Catnapped! I don't think they said that line. But one of the kidnappers does say, "Hey, look, the cat's out of the bag." The ones who kidnapped them were these two dogs. One's very small, one's very big. Furs, just sagging everywhere. Who worked for this Persian cat called Jeans. Persian white fat cat. And then there's Vic, who is Chris Pratt's dad, voiced by Sam Jackson. Oh, another line. The Persian cat Jeans literally says, "Are you feline sad?" You get it? Feeling sad? Feline sad? Are you feline sad? Oh my fucking god, man. Who wrote this? Probably someone who thinks a $3 bill is real. I'll give you a bunch of $3. You give me a 50. Where's change? One of us will be happier in about an hour when you figure it out. So the cat Jeans is mad at Vic, Vic, because they were part of this posse of pussies that stole milk. And one day or one night they stole milk, but the fat cat was caught, which is her fault. Her own dumb fault for going back for this one bottle of milk. That's your fucking fault. And then there's a fence and all this stuff. She got caught. Vic couldn't do anything, but she blames him because she's an idiot. I'm like, it's your fault. But anyway, she wants revenge. And so she goes, I want this big amount of milk. And you don't have to take Chris Pratt and Odie with you. And Chris Pratt's like, no, this guy abandoned me. I want nothing to do with it. But they force him to do it. And then it's a little adventure where they go on a train. And Chris Pratt's whipped around. They get back onto the train. They get to this place where all this milk is held. They talk to this bull, voiced by Ving Rhames, who used to be a mascot there, who is forlorn, thinking about his love, which is this cow named Ethel, who's there, this milk cow. And eventually, after some back and forth shenanigans, one of them goes, if you help us, we'll help get your love out. So they do Mission Impossible type planning. And the jokes are, okay, I'm going to use, for examples, a frog, a chipmunk, and this dead possum. And Chris Pratt's like, why do I gotta be the dead possum? Why not? He's not dead, he's playing possum. You understand the term? Yeah, man, why do I have to play possum? But how do you play a dead cat? A dead pussy? Okay? Who's ready to get fucked? Would you like to play that, Chris Pratt? Shut up. You kitty cat. Stop being a pussy. Shut the fuck up. The stuff isn't funny. It just wastes time. Running time. And it's like, let's tell everything. Was this script written 14 to 30 years ago? Like a prison term? Because it's showing jokes. Hey, remember someone go and snatch the pebble from my hand? What is this, Kung Fu, the TV show? Great topical reference. Snatch the pebble from my hand. For all the kids out there, remember Kung fucking Fu. What the fuck? There's other jokes in here that feel like they were written 30 fucking years ago. So Vic and Chris Pratt are not doing the best. And eventually Odie ties them together to a tree. Vic explains what happened, where he went for food. And even though it's pouring rain, all this stuff, he decides to wait. Wait. So, okay, he left Chris Pratt, a kitten, in this enclosure. Goes off. Knows he's been there a while waiting for this guy to shut the fuck up on his phone. And he's waiting and waiting. And I'm sitting there going, dude, go back to your kid and check on the kid. Take the kid with you. Well, I guess you say it's raining, but check on him. If you spend that much goddamn time. But he came back with an anchovy or something of that nature and saw that Chris Pratt was with John and then decided, well, he'd have a better life with John. Now, despite me complaining, as a scene, because nobody's talking, this is the only scene I could say that was effective somewhat and was trying to capture. Because they made Chris Pratt's kitten character look sweet with the big eyes, and they have the dad, wide-eyed and sad and not sure, but looking at the little food he has and the amount of food his kid could have. And in a better movie, this could work. In a better film, better voiced, better acted, better animated. Because again, I don't think the animation was that great. It just, I don't know, just something about it. I don't know what it is about the animation bothered me. I don't know. It's not bad. It's just something about it felt all, I don't know how to explain it. Now, maybe this flashback should have happened later. Or, I don't know. Eventually, Chris Pratt believes him. They go and do their Mission Impossible thing. And there's a lot of stuff that just remind you of other movies. Like, there's a bit when they go into the factory and they go down the slide, and then they split into 3 slides. That just reminded me of Ice Age. Remember in Ice Age when the 3 characters are chasing the baby, and they go through the 3 paths, and you see them going through the 3 paths? That's what this reminded me of. 3 characters split up into 3 slides. Like Ice Age, which is a much better movie than this. Chris Pratt lands on cheese. He gets picked up. They gotta try to rescue him. So shenanigans ensue. Eventually, Vic throws Odie and Chris Pratt. He escapes with the milk. You find out later the reason he did that is so that the pound would catch them, and because Chris Pratt has a chain and stuff, they contact the owner. Oh, by the way, John Arbuckle, I know I haven't talked about him, because he's barely a fucking character. Oh, have you ever heard this joke before? You get on the phone, and they don't answer, and they put you on hold, and the joke is about being put on hold? I swear I've seen that joke dozens of times by now. Nothing original or creative about the joke. Again, I swear I've heard that joke multiple fucking times now. About being put on hold. Vic gets the milk truck to Jean, and she's like, I didn't care about the milk at all. I wanted you to get caught and put into the pound. Meanwhile, Garfield and Odie... Oh shit, I said the name. Because I want to say Garfield, because it's the name of the fucking movie, but it's Garfield in name only. Because he rarely acts, sounds, or feels like Garfield. Should be called the Chris Pratt movie. But if I put that in the title, people would be confused. It's like when Shang-Chi, I put Bulletproof Month 2, and people were confused. There's no Bulletproof Month 2. I'm like, yeah, did you watch the video? I don't know if it's still that title. I might have changed it, but people go, that's not the name of the movie. I'm like, yeah, watch the video. You'll understand if you watch the video. So again, if I put the Chris Pratt movie, I should do that anyway. Just in case. Anyway, I'll think about it. But then Chris Pratt's character goes to a tree, finds some notches, and realizes that Vic was telling the truth. He does care about him. Oh yeah, Snoop Dogg, his cameo is one of the pets, or one of the animals in the pound, who used to know Vic, about how he abandoned them and always wanted to see his kid, saw his kid every week and such, or watch his kid. Eventually, Chris Pratt and Odie, they go find the dad, which is on a train. I guess so they could reuse the train they had earlier in the film. And remember the drones at the beginning? That comes back. But then we're also going to have the Top Gun music, the riff. Which, I love that Top Gun riff. I don't know why the fuck is in this movie. Which is funny because I remember there was at one point going to be a plot to Top Gun sequel that drones were taking and replacing Tom Cruise in them. There you go. You do a Top Gun 3, have it be AI. Like a better version of that movie Stealth. Anyway. Oh, to be fair, Chris Pratt's character does say, I do my own stunts. Well, me and Tom Cruise. Because I guess Jackie Chan doesn't exist in this world. But hey. I guess people tend to forget that. Anyway. Action scene happens. Chris Pratt and Vic try to fall with this net, but it's too tight, so they bounce back onto the train. They talk to each other. And the two dog henchmen all of a sudden find it conscious. I didn't buy that. Because throughout the whole film, there's no intimations that they were doubtful in what they were doing, unsure what they were doing, that, oh, they had a soft side to them. No, this felt completely arbitrary, completely out of left field, that these two henchmen, well, you said that you want to do this to hurt them, and look, they actually liked each other. And I mean, so what? Is that really why you did all this? For Jinx, you two hench dogs? The change of heart, I didn't buy it, came out of nowhere, piss poorly written, type of thing be written on a fucking napkin with a crayon. I call huge bullshit on that. The two dogs, Chris Pratt and Vic, go off the train. They form like a circle, and the bigger one, his fur kind of acts like a, not a balloon, but kind of like a big cape thing, you know, trying to drift them down. Until ultimately Ving Rhames' character swings in with a rope and saves them. Jinx eventually gets caught. I guess they make the deal with the one place where they have exchange. They give Jinx the cat to them, and they get the milk cow. Where when the bull and the milk cow look at each other, they decide to play Let's Get It On. Let's Get It On. Because that's what you want in a kid's film. You want in a kid's film the song Let's Get It On, where a bull and a milk cow are giving fuck me eyes to each other. And then it ends with the cow pouncing on the bull. Talk about taking the bull from the horns, riding the bull, and you know. I just, when your kid asks, "What does that mean? Let's get it on." She's gonna ride the bull, son. She's gonna ride the bull. What does that mean, Dad? You'll find out soon, son. You'll find out soon. So I'm like, that bull and cow fucked. Probably right then and there. Riding the bull. Until she got a different kind of milk. Anyway, Chris Pratt and Odie get back home. And they bring Vic along. So Vic now lives with them. I'm sitting there going, isn't John going to go, who the fuck is this? John Arbrook was not going to know who this is. Who are you? Who's this big, fat, humongous cat who I gotta feed now? Who the fuck is this? He's not going to know that's the dad of this character. John just accepts it. Just like he accepted to get bent over and fucked in the ass because that's all he got to, not literally, but figuratively do in this. That John, man, he's like an important part of Garfield, and they took all that out. Hell, yeah, I would have thought they were going with the whole, well, John is having frustrations with, this is an actual Garfield movie. John's having, cares for Garfield, but has frustration with Garfield because he's being lazy, he's being grumpy, he's eating all the food. And Garfield's getting mad at him. And then, oh, here's my real dad. But then, yeah, John's my actual real dad. You may be my biological dad, but John is what a father should be, is the true definition of a father. And then Garfield holds John and hugs John. It's very sweet, and then he goes back to being his lazy, laconic self. Maybe, maybe a little less causing John trouble. But there's a thing or two, things haven't changed too much. No, they don't go with that route. Again, Garfield is a lazy, sarcastic, not wanting to barely move type of cat. So let's have him doing action sequences and flying around, jumping on 50 drones and twisting, turning across a train because the kids need some of that action because they don't want to be too fucking bored because they think the kids are ADD riddled. And let's get it on music between a bull and a cow and puns like, "Are you feline sad?" and a whole bunch of bullshit. Mission Impossible. Not only do they do the planning like they play the fucking music when they're planning the heist. Literal Mission Impossible music. Also, I think there's murder in the film because this is a little bird that's with the Persian cat, and it's complimenting him, or complimenting her. And then there's a bit where the cat eats the bird, and you never see that bird again. So I'm like, okay, so that cat literally did murder that bird that was with them. Because it ate the bird, and you never see the bird again. So Jinx just murdered that bird, who was a character, who again was working with her, complimenting her, and she just murdered him. So we have murder, we have sex between a bull and a... Come on, let's get it on. You know what they're going to do. Seduction of sex. I'm surprised there wasn't a fart joke and a piss joke. I was surprised by that. So I guess as a positive, it didn't have that. Chris Pratt, miscast, did not fit. Not a single bit of it. I would have fit Garfield what the character should be. Sam Jackson must be one of those guys that, number one, he must have so much money by now. He's been in so many damn movies. But he's like, I gotta be in everything that's an IP. You know, my early days, I got to be in Jurassic Park. I got to be with Eddie Murphy coming to America. I got to be in this other stuff. Okay, now I get to be in Marvel. Nick Fury, I get to be in Star Wars. I got to be in a Tarzan movie. I got to be in a Team Kong movie. I get to be in a Garfield movie. What's next? You gonna be in a Ninja Turtle movie? You gonna be in a Power Rangers movie? You gonna be in a fucking Teletubby movie? Or a goddamn Barney movie? Or a goddamn Hello Kitty? Or My Little Pony movie? What's next, Sam? He'll be in a Predator movie. That'll be next. He'll be in a Predator film. Tie these motherfucking predators on my motherfucking plane. John Arbuckle completely wasted as a character. Odie, he had cute moments. The best character was the one who didn't talk. Go figure. It's weird that Snoop Dogg had this random cameo that I don't know, was barely a minute of that. So why even have? Oh, because he's Snoop Dogg, so he's a dog. You know. Did he even play a dog? Can't remember. I think he did. I don't give a shit. So take that for you will. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now. This movie sucks.